Hello students, today we will read chapter 3, Two Stories About Flying, its second part, that is the Black Aeroplane. This lesson is written by Frederick Forsyth. Now let's know about this writer first. He was born on 25th August 1938 in Ashford, Kent, England. He was educated at Tonbridge School and later joined the University of Granada in Spain. He joined the RAF and became a jet fighter pilot. He became a journalist and joined the BBC in 1965, where he served as an assistant diplomatic correspondent. So now this story, Black Aeroplane, it is about a mysterious event. Actually, the writer is a pilot and he was flying his Dakota aeroplane thousands of feet above the land and amid dark clouds. So suddenly what happens that his when there was a storm, his compass and his radio, all the instrument, they went out of order, and miserable pilot was waiting that now he would lose his life. But suddenly a black plane appeared from nowhere and it guided him to a to an airport, and after that it disappeared immediately and the writer's plane landed safely on the runway. So now let's read about the story. This The moon was coming up in the east behind me, and the stars were shining in the clear sky above me. Now he was flying his plane, and the stars were there in the sky. It was very clear sky. The moon was also visible. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. It was a clear, visible sky, no cloud at all. I was happy to be alone high up above the sleeping countryside, and he was very happy, and he was moving above the countryside, above the places where all the people were sleeping. I was flying my old Dakota aeroplane over France back to England, and he was flying his Dakota aeroplane. Now he was moving from France to England, and his home place was in England, and he was dreaming of his holiday and looking forward to be with his family. And he said what he was thinking, he was dreaming that he would enjoy his holidays, he would spend time with his family. And I looked at my watch, 1:30 in the morning. It was 1:30 in the morning. I should call Paris control soon. Now as he was passing that place, Paris, he just contacted to the control room. I thought, as I looked down past the nose of the aeroplane, I saw the lights of a big city in front of me, and he could guess that it was Paris. So he just contacted the control room. I switched on the radio and said, Paris Control, Dakota DS-088 here. Can you hear me? I am on my way to England, over. Now he just wanted to inform to Paris Control Room that he was flying his plane and he was on his way to England. He was going to England. The voice from the radio answered me immediately, and immediately he got an answer from the control room. DS-088, you ought to turn 12° west now. DS-88 over. So now the control room, they guided him to move towards 12° towards west, and so that was his direction. They were telling him that how he had to move. I checked the map and the compass, switched over to my second and last fuel tank, and turned the Dakota 12° west towards England. As guided by the control room, he took his plane 12° towards west, and he switched on to his last fuel tank. There are two fuel tanks in the plane, and one had already been used, and he was now switched to the second fuel tank, and it was the last one also. So I will be in time for breakfast. Now what he was thinking, that he would be there, he would be at his home right before the breakfast, and a good big English breakfast. He was eagerly waiting to spend time with the family and to enjoy big English breakfast. Everything was going well, and it was a very smooth journey. So what he thought, it was a very easy flight and he would definitely reach in time and meet his family. Paris was about 150 kilometers behind me when I saw the clouds, storm clouds. Now he had crossed Paris. He had already covered 150 kilometers, and after that, what he saw, he suddenly saw clouds, storm clouds in the sky. They were huge, big storm clouds he could see. They looked like big mountains standing in front of me across the sky, and they seemed to be just like big black mountains. Now he could not understand. I knew I could not fly up and over them, and I did not have enough fuel to fly around them to the north or south. And as he was going towards west, and he was using his last fuel tank, he could not fly up above them. And secondly, he could not change his direction also, north or south, because he was not having enough fuel in the tank. I ought to go back to Paris. Second thought came to his mind was that he should go back to Paris. It was 150 kilometers back. I thought, but I wanted to get home. I wanted that breakfast. But he wanted to meet his family. So he just wanted that he should go home. He wanted to have that breakfast. So what he decided? I will take the risk, I thought, and flew that old Dakota straight into the storm. And what he did? I will take the risk. He risked his life and he just went into the storm. And he knew that anything could happen, but he took the risk and flew his Dakota straight into the storm. Now, as he entered the clouds, everything was suddenly black. He couldn't see anything. It was impossible to see anything outside the aeroplane. उसके बाहर कुछ भी दिखाई नहीं दे रहा था उसको. The old aeroplane jumped and twisted in the air. और जो aeroplane है वो jump कर रहा है, twist कर रहा है in the air. And when he looked at the compass, I could not believe. Yes, I could not believe my eyes. He could not believe his eyes. He could not believe that the compass was turning round and round and round, and it was dead. Now, compass also stopped working. It was dead. It would not work. The other instruments were suddenly dead too. सारे इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स ने काम करना बंद कर दिया. Needle, compass, everything. And I tried the radio. He just tried to contact to the Paris control room. Paris control, can you hear me? वो पेरिस कंट्रोल ट्राई कर रहा है, बट अभी थोड़ी देर पहले ही उसकी बात होती है, बट अभी वो कनेक्शन भी ब्रेक हो जाता है. देयर वॉज नो आंसर. द रेडियो वॉज डेड टू. रेडियो भी बंद हो चुका है. आई हैड नो रेडियो, नो कंपस, एंड आई कुड नॉट सी वेयर आई वॉज. एंड now there was no instrument to just check his direction, and he could not find where he was. I was lost in the storm. And he was completely lost in that storm. No direction. He could not find where to go. Then, in the black clouds quite near me, I saw another aeroplane. Now, suddenly, what he saw? That in those black clouds, he saw another plane. It had no lights on its wings. There were no lights, but I could see it flying next to me through the storm. But what he could see, that it was just flying next to him, next to his plane. I could see the pilot's face turned towards me, and he could see the pilot's face also, and he was just shaking his hand and just asking him to follow him. I was very glad to see another person. He lifted one hand and waved, "Follow me," he was saying, "follow me." And वो उसको जस्ट बोल रहा है कि जस्ट उसको फॉलो करो, एंड ही विल बी आउट ऑफ दैट स्टॉर्म. He knows that I am lost, I thought. Now what the pilot, the writer was thinking, that how he knows that I am lost. He is trying to help me. He turned his aeroplane slowly to the north. He turned his aeroplane slowly to the north in front of my Dakota so that it would be easier for me to follow him. So he took his aeroplane forward and he just wanted me to follow him. I was very happy to go behind the strange aeroplane like an obedient child. He was lost, he was completely lost, he had lost his direction, no instrument was there, so what he could do? He had no other option but just to follow that plane which was ahead of him. After half an hour, the strange black aeroplane was still there in front of me in the clouds. After about half an hour, the plane was flying in the sky, and these two planes they were just flying. And now what happened? Now there was only enough fuel in the old Dakota's last tank to fly for 5 or 10 minutes more. After half an hour, he was having fuel just for 5 to 10 minutes more. So I was starting to feel afraid again, frightened again. would अब फिर से डर गया कि अब क्या करूं, 10 minutes का बचा है fuel, but how he would do the things. But then he started to go down and I followed through the storm. और उसने वो storm, लेकिन suddenly उसने देखा कि जो सामने वाला plane है वो नीचे जाने लगा है, और वो भी he also followed him through the storm. Suddenly, I came out of the clouds and saw two long straight lines of lights in front of me. और suddenly वो जो plane है दोनों वो cloud से बाहर आ जाते हैं, and suddenly what he saw straight lines as they are on the airport. So he found these two straight lines of lines. It was a runway, an airport. I was safe. I turned to look for my friend in the black aeroplane, but the sky was empty. अब वो देख रहा है, ढूंढ रहा है कि वो सामने वो जो प्लेन था उसके पास अभी था वो कहाँ चला गया. It disappeared suddenly. But the sky was empty. There was nothing there. वहाँ पे कुछ भी नहीं था. He had reached safe to the airport, but that black aeroplane was nowhere. But the sky was empty. There was nothing there. The black aeroplane was gone. I couldn't see it anyway. और वो उसको दिखाई नहीं दे रहा. I landed and was not sorry to walk away from the old Dakota near the control tower. And he landed and he just went to the control tower just to know which that plane was. I went and asked a woman in the control center where I was and who the other pilot was. And he didn't know that it was which airport it was. So he just wanted to know where he was. And secondly, he wanted to meet that person, meet that pilot, and wanted to thank him. She looked at me very strangely and then laughed. The lady in the control room, she just strangely looked at the writer and then laughed. Another aeroplane up there in the storm. इस storm में कोई aeroplane? How it is possible? No one can fly in that storm. No other airplanes were flying tonight. Nothing. No airplanes were flying. Yours was the only one I could see on the radar. And the lady could see that there was only one plane that was of the writer that was flying in the clouds. So, who helped me to arrive there safely without a compass or a radio and without any more fuel in my tanks? तो ऐसा कौन था, किसने उसको हेल्प किया? Without radio, without compass, without any fuel in the tanks, who had come to help him? Who was the pilot on the strange black aeroplane flying in the storm without lights? And who was that pilot who was flying that black aeroplane, flying in that storm without lights? So this was the story part. And now let's discuss about the theme of this lesson. And the theme is given that it is about an unique but mysterious experience during writer's flight from Paris to London. During the flight, he was lost amid mountains of dark clouds. He couldn't believe his eyes. The compass was dead. It would not work. He had no connection with the Paris control room also. He followed the strange aeroplane till he could see the runway and was safe. Suddenly aeroplane came to before him. He just followed the strange aeroplane and he could reach the runway safe. When asked from the control center, he was told that no plane except his own plane was flying in the storm. Now he was surprised. Where did the aeroplane come? What was the man doing? How he followed that man? And where did he disappear after leaving him in safety? कैसे वो चला गया अचानक से? These are the questions which are still surrounded in mystery. So it is all a mysterious part, mysterious chapter, how mysteriously the plane appeared and disappeared, and he just helped him out. So this is all about the lesson. Questions and other exercises we will discuss later in the WhatsApp group. Thank you.